What's going on, guys? Welcome to the second Infinite Warfare beta video of the day here on BlackTideTV. I hope you enjoyed the first video. If you missed that one, it will be linked in the description down below and in the card in the top right corner, as well as a bunch of other Infinite Warfare beta videos that you may enjoy. In this video, we're talking about classic weapons. Now, the gameplay that you're seeing is with the Ripper epic variant of the RPR Evo. It is about as close as I could get to a classic weapon gameplay for you. We didn't actually have access to the classic weapons that are shown in the beta. They're actually locked and only available in the full game. Apart from in gun game, for the one day that we had access to gun game, we could potentially run into these weapons in gun game and use them. I got to use one or two, but apart from that, I really didn't get that much experience in using these weapons. But we do have access to the descriptions. We do have access to the menu images, which I will be putting screenshots up as we go through this video. But apart from that, the only thing that I could really get as close to a classic weapon gameplay was the Ripper epic variant of the RPR Evo. I'm not sure why they didn't just put the Ripper into the classic weapons category, but I'm okay with it because the Ripper is a very, very good weapon, and I'm very glad that you don't have to actually prestige a bunch of times before you have access to it. Now, as I said, there are 6, I'm not sure if I actually said it yet, but there are 6 classic weapons that we have access to in the beta, or have access to the menu images of in the beta. Well, they said that there's 10 prestiges in this game, and we're supposed to get a classic weapon prestige token every time we prestige. So either we're missing 4 weapons that they're not going to put into the game, or maybe they're keeping 4 weapons secret. Maybe they're waiting for the response that they get from these weapons, because there are a couple weapons that are pretty shady. There's some weapons in here that they brought back that nobody was asking for and nobody was assuming they would bring back. These are supposed to be fan favorite weapons after all. So when maybe they're just like waiting for the feedback of these weapons to put in the last 4. Maybe they're like, oh, well, if we get a good enough response out of the weapons from this specific game, we'll put in more weapons like that. Or maybe if we get more response for like the assault rifles, we'll put in more assault rifles, etc., etc. I do believe that they'll probably be adding more DLC classic weapons to the game in either supply drops or in purchases or something like that. It just seems like a no-brainer to me to put in more classic weapons as time goes on. So maybe they're just holding back on some of the weapons, and they're just going to put in whatever people really want right now, and then they're going to sell the rest later. Now, moving on, let's talk about the weapons themselves. So we have 6 weapons, 5 primaries, and 1 secondary. So the primaries, we have the OSA, the BlackTideTV, the TF141, the S-Ravage, the M1. The secondary is the Hornet. Now, all those names mean nothing to you. For whatever reason, they changed the names of all these weapons before they brought them back. They should have just left them with their old names so people could actually easily recognize them. But we're all Call of Duty fans, we'll probably recognize them anyways. So the first weapon that we have is one of the controversial ones, the OSA. You probably would not recognize this, but the OSA is the ARX 160 from Call of Duty Ghosts. It did return as the ARX 160 in Advanced Warfare. Now, I did notice that all of the weapons in today's video, all of the classic weapons that are returning for Infinite Warfare are all Infinity Ward weapons. They all came out of Infinity Ward games at one point or another. The OSA, or the ARX 160, did originate in Ghosts, and then it moved on to Advanced Warfare. It was much more popular in Advanced Warfare, but in Ghosts, it was fully automatic like the version that we have in this game. It didn't get used a whole lot in Ghosts because it was so expensive. It was like 10 squad points to unlock. It was one of the last unlocks in the game, so that's why not a lot of people used it unless they were going for like full camos or whatever like that, like I was. So I definitely used this in Ghosts. It was not a fan favorite by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm not sure why this gun is back in this game. And it has an integrated grenade launcher. It's got a noob tube on it, for Christ's sake. Nobody wants that back. Nobody wants a grenade launcher. Nobody wants the ARX 160, so I'm really confused why this weapon got back into this game. From Ghosts, really, if you were thinking of a really iconic weapon from Ghosts to put in this game, Honey Badger, come on. Moving on, we've got some weapons that we basically knew these weapons were going to be in this game. The next 3, we 100%, we didn't even need any confirmation at all. These 3 weapons were going to be in this game, or there was going to be a riot. The first one is the BlackTideTV, the UMP45 from Modern Warfare 2. It is just as powerful as it ever was. I actually got to use this thing in a gun game. This thing tears shit up, period. Best SMG of all times in any Call of Duty game ever. Hands down, and it is back, and it is awesome. The iron sights are beautiful. It's a really, really, really good weapon, and I'm so excited that it's back. That is going to be my first unlock with with my classic weapon prestige token. God, that's a mouthful. Next weapon is the TF-141. This one was confirmed previously. It is the intervention sniper rifle from Modern Warfare 2. So this is going to be probably the most popular sniper rifle in the game. I mean, the KBS longbow is pretty good, but I mean, once people start accessing this TF-141, the intervention sniper rifle, everyone's going to be using the intervention sniper. I feel like there's going to be no comparison for this weapon when it comes to snipers in this game. It's so iconic, and it was so powerful back in the day. If they nerf the damage of this thing at all or anything like that, there's going to be some trouble on their hands, and I really feel like this is going to be a really, really good weapon in this game. The TF-141 is going to be one of the better snipers. We have the S-Ravage. The S-Ravage is known from previous games as the SPAS-12 shotgun. This is the SPAS-12 coming out of Modern Warfare 2, one of the greatest, if not the greatest shotgun of all times. The SPAS-12, it had some extreme range, it had some extreme damage, and it looks like it's returning in this game. From the actual description, I will read you straight up the description. Pump action ballistic shotgun, an esteemed and rugged firearm that trades a slow rechamber rate for incredible range and stopping power. It really sounds like it's going to be just as good as it was in Modern Warfare 2, and I would hope so, because now it is a primary weapon. In Modern Warfare 2, it was pretty overpowered because it was a secondary weapon, but now we have it as a primary. Yeah, I could see them keeping it pretty much the exact same and allowing it to be a primary weapon, especially compared to that RAC-9. We actually don't have access to that in the beta yet either, but the RAC-9 is another shotgun that's kind of like the SPAS-12, pump action, ballistic shotgun, and it has some insane range on that thing. I got to use that in gun game, and it is powerful. So if the S-Ravage is going to live up to its name, it's got to be even better than that. This thing is going to be incredibly powerful. Lastly, in the primary section, I've got a big doozy for you. The M1. This is the worst one in my opinion. Why the fuck is the M1 in this game? Of course, it's coming out of Call of Duty 2. That was the last Infinity Ward game that included an M1. Call of Duty 2, okay? And we've had an M1 in the last 3 years of Call of Duty. 3 years in a row, we've had an M1 in each of our games. We had the M1 Garand as a DLC weapon in Advanced Warfare, we had the MX Garand as a DLC weapon in frickin' Black Ops 3, and now we have the M1 as a classic weapon in Infinite Warfare. Why the fuck is this gun in this game? This pisses me off beyond all belief. I do not like the M1. I don't know why this gun would even exist in this far-off dystopian future of Infinite Warfare. I don't know why this is in this game, even though it's a classic weapon, even though, yeah, it's classic, alright, because it's from fucking World War II. I hate it. I hate it. Take it out of the game right now. That's not even the worst part. Let me go over to the sniper rifles right now. The final unlockable sniper rifle in this game, not a classic weapon, but just a regular unlockable sniper rifle, is called the DMR-1. I'll just put a picture up for you. Does that not already look like an M1? They literally have an M1 in this game, and they're still going to give us a classic weapon M1. Fuck right off. I'm so done with M1s. I'm done. Get out of here. Get this shit out of my game. I don't want to see an M1 in this game. And I'm sure everyone else is fucking sick of this gun too. It's been in 3 years straight of Call of Duty, including this game. Why would they have a classic variant of a weapon when another version of the weapon, a futuristic or a futurized version of that same weapon, is readily available in this game? I don't know. I don't know why they put this shit in here. And of course, let's talk about the last weapon, the secondary Hornet. This is the G18 from Modern Warfare 2. I'm very excited for this weapon. We're going to have to put some akimbo on that bitch, and it's going to be really, really powerful. I was speculated. I kind of thought that they were going to put a G18 in here, and I'm pretty excited for this one as well. That is it for the classic weapons that we have access to in the Infinite Warfare beta. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, of course. And I'll see you guys on the next video.